I have been given the text "The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock" by T. S. Stearns Eliot, and I've been assigned a small part of this text, and then I'm going to analyze this part. But first off, I would like to present this text. So, "The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock" is a modernistic poem in the form of a dramatic monologue. A dramatic monologue presents a moment in which a narrator discusses a topic and, in so doing, reveals his personal feelings to a listener. Only the narrator talks like we have this inner monologue, and during this discourse, the speaker intentionally and unintentionally reveals information about himself. The main focus of a dramatic monologue is this personal information, not the speaker's topic. Therefore, a dramatic monologue is a type of a character study. This Eliot had published Prufrock in a poetry magazine in 1915, and then in a collection of his poems Prufrock and Other Observations in 1917. The poem centers on a balding, insecure middle-aged man. He expresses his thoughts about the dull, uneventful, mediocre life he leads as a result of his feelings of deficiency and his fear of making decisions. Unable to seize opportunities or take risks, especially with women, he lives in a world that is the same today as it was yesterday, and it will be the same tomorrow as it is today. He does try to make progress, but his timidity and fear of failure inhibit him from taking action. At this point, I'm going to analyze the video that we made, and I'm going to give you some analysis of this video. Yeah.
And would it have been worth it after all? After the cups, the marmalade, the tea, among the porcelain, among some talk of you and me.
To have bitten off the matter with a smile.
To have squeezed the universe into a ball.
To roll it toward some overwhelming question.
These lines talk about the time in the poem and how the time continues to play tricks on us. Now, Prufrock talks as if he has already passed up on his opportunity to do the important thing. And he starts this long thought about if it would have been worth it, which he won't finish until the end of the stanza. Prufrock now also starts to talk more about eating and drinking, and this could show us that we have been to some sort of dinner or having tea with our main character Prufrock. And he talks about biting off the matter as if it were something he could eat, like his precious marmalade. We assume like the matter is the most important thing that he meant to discuss. Yes, and he compares the effort it would require to take on some overwhelming question to squeezing the entire universe into a ball. It sounds pretty hard to solve this quest, but yeah, I'll just continue the clip and tell you something new about this.
I am Lazarus, come from the dead. Come to tell you all. I shall tell you all.
At this point, Prufrock compares his task of asking the question to Lazarus coming back from the dead. Right at this point, it gets too much. Like, you shouldn't take resurrection to tell someone how you feel about the person. But Lazarus plays a more important role than just being compared to feelings. He In the Bible, he is a poor man, and he dies and he gets sent to heaven. And this rich man called Dives asked the prophet Abraham to send Lazarus back to earth to warn his brothers to mend their ways or they'll end up in hell. And this Abraham guy is telling them that there's no way for that to happen because the message has already been sent. There's no way to get this Lazarus guy back on Earth. And so Prufrock he's not Lazarus and he's not Dante. He's more like the rich guy Dives, the guy who never escapes from this terrible situation. I'll continue the video clip.
That is not what I meant at all. That is not it at all.
At this point, he finally completes the sentence. Would have been worth it. Would have been worth it after all. And yeah, clearly Prufrock thinks that no, it would not have been worth it. So he thinks it's a good thing he never tried or risked anything. Prufrock is imagining his worst case scenario. He has asked his big question, though we still don't know what this question is, and the reply he gets from the girl has been completely misunderstood. But Prufrock never asked her a question because he was too afraid of getting rejected. He had many problems with rejection in his past, so he would never know if what she really meant with this question. I'll continue the video clip and then tell you something new.
After the sun sets and the dooryards and the sprinkled streets.
After the novels, after the teacups, after the skirts that trail along the floor.
At this point, he's still thinking in this worst case scenario mode. He wonders if it would have been worth it if after him and his love experienced all of these nice but trivial pressures of everyday middle class life. If we had to guess, we might say that he's afraid that if his big question didn't go well, it would throw a wrench of his tidy, polite, inoffensive life. But Prufrock is right about one thing. He is totally incapable of saying what he means. I will just continue the clip.
But as if a magic lantern threw the nerves in patterns on a screen. That is not it at all. That is not what I meant at all.
Now he comes up with Prufrock comes up with the right words to say what he means. It is as if the words is locked in his nerves. And you see this magic lantern protecting these nerves. But in typical Prufrock fashion, even the right words are disappointing. You know, the rejection thing. And it's just another image of a woman sitting on a couch or a bed and saying she has been misunderstood, like earlier. And once again, it is implied that he doesn't think asking her would have been worth the risk of rejection. But once again, he will never know